Words of our Divine Mother. Our Divine Mother says, the Divine Presence gives us peace in strength, serenity in action, and an unchanging happiness in the midst of all circumstances. With my love and blessings, says our Divine Mother. Words of our Divine Mother from the book Agenda, Volume 1, page 20, date April 1954. Our Divine Mother says, with the same accuracy, one can say that all is divine or nothing is divine. Everything depends upon the angle from which one looks at the problem. Likewise, it can be said that the divine is a perpetual becoming, and yet that it is immutable for all eternity. To deny or affirm God's existence is equally true, but each is only partially true. It is by rising above both affirmation and negation that one may draw nearer the truth. It can further be said that whatever happens in the world is the result of the divine will, but also that this will has to be expressed and manifested in a world that contradicts or deforms it. These are two attitudes having respectively the partial effect of either submitting with peace and joy to whatever happens, or on the contrary, ceaselessly fighting for the triumph of what should be. To live with the truth, one must know how to rise above both attitudes and combine them. Our Divine Mother says, keep your own conviction if it helps you to build your life, but know that it is only one conviction and that the others are as good and true as yours. Tolerance is full of a sense of superiority. It should be replaced by total understanding. Because truth is not linear but global, not successive but simultaneous. It can therefore not be expressed in words, it must be lived. Our Divine Mother says, to acquire a total and perfect awareness of the world as it is in all its details, one must first have no more personal reactions in regards to any of these details, nor even any spiritual preference as to what they ought to be. In other words, a total acceptance with a perfect neutrality and indifference is the indispensable condition for a knowledge through integral identification. If one detail, no matter how small, escapes this neutrality, this detail also escapes identification. The absence of personal reactions, whatever they end, even the most exalted, is thus a basic necessity for total knowledge. So, we could say paradoxically that we can only know a thing when we are not interested in it, or rather, more precisely, when we are not personally concerned with it. Our Divine Mother says, whenever a God has donned a body, it was always with the intention of transforming the earth and creating a new world. Yet, until now, he always had to give up his body without being able to complete his work. And it has always been said that the earth was not ready, that mankind did not fulfill the conditions necessary for the work to be accomplished. But it is the very imperfection of the incarnate God that makes the perfection of those about Him indispensable. If the God incarnate realized the perception needed for the progress to be made, this progress would not be conditioned by the state of the surrounding matter. However, interdependence is doubtlessly absolute in this world of most objectification, and a certain degree of perfection in the general manifestation is indispensable because a higher degree of perfection can be realized in the divine incarnate being. It is the need for a certain perfection in the environment that drives human beings to progress. It is the insufficiency of this progress, whatever it may be, that impels the divine being to intensify his effort for progress in his own body. Thus, both moments for progress are simultaneous and complementary. Our Divine Mother says in August 1954, when we look back upon our lives, we almost always feel that in some circumstance or other, we could have done better, even though at each minute the action was dictated by the inner truth. This is because the universal is in a perpetual motion, and what was perfectly true at one time is not partially so today. Or to express it more precisely, the action necessary at the time it is carried out is no longer so at the same present time. Is no longer so at the present time, and another time might more fruitfully take its place. Our Divine Mother. Our Divine Mother says when we speak of transformation, the meaning of the word is still vague to us. Let me repeat. Our Divine Mother says when we speak of transformation, the meaning of the word is still vague to us. It gives us the impression of something that is going to happen which will set everything right. The idea more or less boils down to this state. If we have difficulties, the difficulties will vanish. Those who are ill will be cured of their illness. If the body has infirmities or incapacities, the infirmities or incapacities will fade away and so forth. But as I have said, it is very vague. It is only an expression. Now, what is quite remarkable about the body consciousness is that it is unable to know a thing with precision and in all its details except when it is just about to be realized. Thus, when the progress of transformation comes clear, when we are able to know by what sequence of moments and chances the total transformation will take place, in what order, by which path, or as it were, which things will come first, which will follow, when everything is known in all its details, it will be a sure indication that the hour of realization is near. For each time you perceive a detail accurately, the means that you're ready to carry it through. Our Divine Mother says, in the meantime, one can have an overall view. For example, it is quite certain that under the influence of the supramental light, the transformation of the body consciousness will take place first. Then will come a progress in the mastery and control of all the movements and workings of all the body's organs. Afterwards, his mastery will gradually change into a kind of radical modification of the moment and then of the constitution of the organ itself. All this is certain, although rather vague to our perception. But what will finally take place once the various organs are replaced by the centers of concentration of forces, each with a different quality and nature, and each working accordingly to their own specific mode, it is still a mere conception, and the body does not understand very well, for it is still very far from realization. And the body can really understand only when it is on the point of being able to. Our Divine Mother says the supramentalized body will be sexless, since the need for the natural animal procreation will no longer exist. It is only in its outward form, in its most superficial appearance as illusory, for the last discoveries of today's science, as for the experience of spirituality in former ages, that the body is not divine. Supreme reality, supramental truth. Supreme reality, supramental truth. This body is all vibrant with intense gratitude. You have given it one by one all the experiences that can lead it most infallibly towards you. It has reached a state where the identification with you is not only the sole thing desirable, but also the sole thing possible and natural. Our Divine Mother says how to describe these experiences that are all of extreme opposite ends. At one end, I can see Lord to be true and more truly near, truly worthy of you. You must not drink the cup of humiliation to the dregs, yet not feel humiliated. The contempt of men renders one truly free and ready to belong to you alone. At the other end, I would say, Lord, to be truly near, truly worthy of integral yoga, one must not be transported to the summits of human appreciation, yet not fully glorified. It is when men call one divine that one feels best own inadequacy and the need to be truly and totally identified with you. The two experiences are simultaneous. One does not negate the other. On the contrary, they seem to complement each other and become intenser thereby. In this intensity, the aspiration grows tremendously, and in response, your presence becomes evident in the cells, giving the body the appearance of a multicolored kaleidoscope whose myriad luminous particles in constant motion are sovereignly recognized by an invisible, all powerful hand. Our Divine Mother says on August 25th, 1954. In fact, our Divine Mother reads to the disciples an excerpt from Sri Aurobindo's The Mother, in which he describes the different aspects of the creative power, what is India called the Shakti or the Mother, which has presided over universal evolution. Our Lord says our Divine Mother, our Lord Sri Aurobindo says there are other great personalities of the Divine Mother, but they were more difficult to bring down and have not stood out in front with so much prominence in the evolution of the earth spirit. There are among them presences indispensable for the supramental realization, most of all, one who is her personality of that mysterious and powerful ecstasy and ananda which flows from a supreme divine love, the ananda that alone can heal the gulf between the highest heights of the supramental spirit and the lowest abysses of matter. The Ananda that holds the key of a wonderful divine's life and even now supports from its secrecies the work of all the other powers of the universe, says our Lord Sri Aurobindo, as spoken by our Divine Mother. A disciple says, "Sweet Mother, what is this personality and when will it manifest?" For that, our Divine Mother says, "I know you would ask me this question because indeed it is the most important thing in the whole passage. So my answer is this, along with my answer to the other question. But first, let me read you this one. You asked, what is this personality and when will she come? Here is my answer." And our Divine Mother reads, "She has come bringing with her a splendor of power and love and intensity of divine joy heretofore unknown to the earth. The physical atmosphere has been completely changed by her descent, permeated with new and marvelous possibilities. But if she is ever to reside and act here, she has to find at least a minimal receptivity, at least one human being with the required vital and physical qualities, a kind of super Parsifal gifted with an innate and integral purity, yet possessing at the same time a body strong enough and poised enough to bear unwearingly the intensity of Ananda she brings. Thus far, she has not found what is needed. Men remain obstinately men and do not want to or unable to become Superman. All they can receive and express is a love, at their own dimension, a human love, whereas the supreme bliss of the divine Ananda eludes their perception. At times, finding the world unready to receive her, she contemplates withdrawing. But how cruel a loss this would be. Our Divine Mother says, it is true at present. Her presence is more rhetorical than factual, since so far she has had no chance to manifest. Yet, even so, she is a powerful instrument in the work, for of all the mother's aspects, she holds the greatest power to transform the body. Indeed, those cells which can vibrate at the touch of the divine joy, receive it and bear it, are cells reborn on their way to becoming immortal. But the vibrations of divine bliss and those of pleasure cannot cohabit in the same vital and physical house. We must therefore totally renounce all feelings of pleasure to be ready to receive the divine Ananda. But rare are those who can renounce pleasure. Rare are those who can renounce pleasure without thereby renouncing all active participation in life or sinking into a stern asceticism. And among those who realize that the transformation is to be wrought in active life, some pretend that pleasure is a form of Ananda, gone more or less astray, and legitimize their search for self satisfaction, thereby creating a virtually insuperable obstacle to their own transformation. These are the words of our Divine Mother. यम सर्वतत्त्वमनवेद यस्य सर्वतत्त्वं शरीरं यः सर्वतत्त्वमयमयति स आत्मायन्तर्यामी भूरसो वै सः भूरसो वै सः रसो वै सः रसमहेवायमलवध्वा आनन्दे भवति वृत्ति भवति अमृते
servant. This intelligence is thy tool, and the whole is only thyself. Seigneur, mon doux maître, ce corps est ton instrument, cette volonté est ta servante, cette intelligence est ton outil, et le tout n'est que toi-même.
Mannatha Shri Jagannatho Madguru Shri Jagadguru Mamatma Sarvabhutatma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Gurave Namah
Vidyate hridayagranthishchidyante sarvasanshayah shiyante chasya karmani tasmin drishte paravare brahmaivedamamritam purastha brahmaivedamamritam purastha brahma paschat brahma dakshinataschottarena adhaschodadhancha prasiddham brahmaivedam vishwamidam vadishtham Dvasuparna sayuja sakhaya samanam vruksham parishasvajate tayoranyah pipalam swadadya nasnanyo abhijakashiti samane vrukshe purusho nimagno hanishaya shojati muhyamanah jushtham yada pashyati annameshavasya mahimanamiti vitashokah satyameva jayate